is Rachel, and I am a homeschool mom to two boys, grades 3rd and 5th, and we are getting closer to start our middle school years in our homeschool. In today's video, I wanted to talk a bit about year-round homeschooling, which is what we do. And I wanted to share the reasons why we started year-round homeschool and then also why we have continued and just the benefits that our family receives because we do it this way. Now, I know that there are many reasons for many families why year-round homeschool is just simply not an option, but I just wanted to give some insight into what our life is like in our homeschool in case you were considering about it and wanting to know a little bit more about it. Now, the number one reason that we started year-round homeschool, and I have been homeschooling now, I am about to finish our 6th year of homeschool. I started when my oldest was in kindergarten. And the reason we started was because my children needed structure. We got to the point where we were finishing his kindergarten year, and I was looking at the summer months that were ahead of us, and I could tell how much structure and routine really made our days go a whole lot smoother, and days without structure and without routine were total chaos. And so when we finished his kindergarten year, I hadn't planned on doing this, but I could already see the difference at that age, how beneficial it was to just the peace in our home to kind of have something for them to expect. And it's still that way, honestly. Now they are ages 8, almost 9, and 11. And I am typically welcoming Monday because our weekends are just a little bit crazy and chaotic. And the Monday through Friday routine of our homeschool and our just days at home are just a whole lot easier and bring a lot of peace to our house. And I feel that doing the year-round homeschool really brings sort of a steady balance throughout the whole year. So that was the first reason why we started, even though I hadn't planned. That is the main reason why we started year-round homeschool. Now, another reason why at the time I thought it would be a good idea, for the most part, when you become an adult, most jobs, not all, but most, have you working throughout the whole summer. And having two little boys that will one day be men, I do want them to have a good understanding of work ethic, and I liked the idea that they would already be used to working every week of the year. Their father still works every week of the year, and again, I know this does not translate to all jobs, but I did like this. I like the idea of raising them in such a way that they were already used to that expectation of responsibility. Now, one of the main wonderful things about homeschool is the freedom and flexibility that we have in our schedule. We are not tied down to the schedule of a public school system or a private school system. And so we get to pick our days off and we get to pick our vacations. But doing year-round almost takes that even further. And so there are just so many benefits off of that. I do feel like we have so much freedom and flexibility throughout the entire year. And instead of doing all of our schoolwork within 36 weeks, I spread it out. And so then that means that less is expected of my children each week. So instead of getting 120 math lessons, for example, done in 36 weeks, they have 52 weeks to complete those. And so my children don't have to do math every day. They don't have to do language arts every day. They do both every single week. They do it 2 or 3 times a week, but not every day. And it makes the daily workload on them a whole lot less. And my kids are still learning to just do a little bit of work each day, but it's not an overwhelming amount. Now, as they are getting older and they're getting higher in their grades, they are having more and more studies. My children have already noticed that, and that will continue. I think my oldest son will see a glimpse of that with his first year of middle school. But it's spread out more, and so it's a whole lot more manageable. Now, you might think that our school must be a whole lot more intense because we don't take days off. But the reality is we take a lot of days off. And I would say that our homeschool is a whole lot more laid back actually because of it. And we often were only due 4 days in our homeschool and sometimes 3, kind of depending on how the week is going. And I have the freedom in the moment, the week of, to kind of look at what our life looks like and see, hey, you know what? We need a day off this week. If something comes up, if one of us gets sick unexpectedly, we can take that time off. And I have zero guilt. I have zero stress. There's no trying to rush back to catch up. And having just the freedom for the unplanned sick days, the unplanned things that come up, is just been really, really beneficial for us. There was a season a few years back where I had some medical issues and my availability from day to day was unpredictable. However, because we have already had this established, I was able to still get my children through their whole homeschool year, and that took a lot of load off of me so that I could focus on getting better. There was another year where we took a vacation that was only for 2 weeks. However, traveling home through the airport, all of us got COVID. And so we ended up taking a whole month off, and then the following month, we ended up catching the flu. So unexpectedly, we took about a month and a half off of school, and we were still able to finish things. It was not stressful. Life can really have a lot of unexpected moments and things that happen, that this established schedule that we have, I am able to work with those a whole lot better, and I find less stress when it's time to get back to school. And I just feel like things just work a whole lot smoother because of this setup that we have. And one part that also I notice that happens a lot is my kids don't often have that dreading to go back to school feeling because they simply never took it off. And it also helps go against the whole summer slide where when kids aren't routinely in their studies, they sometimes forget. And a good portion of the beginning of the new school year is just spent reviewing and remembering the things that they've lost. But we don't really have that because we just kind of continue and keep going. And if you have a vacation planned, it is so easy to just take it stress-free, and there's no trying to cram in the lessons before we go or double down on lessons when we get back. We just simply take it off, and it's just, I think I might be using the word stress-free a lot in this video, but that is really, really one of the benefits that we just get to live with because this is an established thing in our home. Now, we also have shorter school days. The time that we have to spend to do school. My children typically only do 3 or 4 subjects a day, and that's because, again, we're taking their schoolwork that would have been 36 weeks and we're just kind of spreading it out to 52. And so, again, less is expected of them. Their school day is shorter. It does not take them that much time. In the majority of the day, my children have to themselves to play, to make a mess, to do other things, work towards their hobbies, whatever it is that they really want to do. Most of their time is their own. Now, we do take, again, plenty of breaks, guys. We're not doing homeschool every single day. I just don't plan when our days are going to be off. So apart from a planned vacation, which doesn't happen a whole lot for us, I just take it the week as it comes. And sometimes we'll do all 5 days, sometimes we won't. And again, every week's gonna look a little bit different. It's nice to just be flexible and take a day off if we want to do a play date or a park day or a field trip day, which is something that I know many homeschoolers can do without having to be a year-round homeschooler. But sometimes I feel like it could be where you feel like right before you go, you kind of need to do a lot, and right when you get back, you kind of need to catch up, and we simply don't have to worry about those things. Now, because our school days are shorter, I myself have a lot more free time to pursue my own hobbies and my own interests, catch up on my own to-do lists. Again, my children are older, so this was not necessarily a promised thing to expect when they were younger and needed me so much more. But now, my youngest is 8, almost 9. My other child is 11. And so it creates a lot less opportunity for burnout for my homeschool responsibilities. And I really do think that I notice my own children, I never really see a burnout with them either. I don't know if that'll change as they get older in their grades, but we aren't just trying to survive for the next school break, because if I see, hey, why don't we just take the day off and go to the park, or why don't we, you're not feeling good, let's just have a couch day, let's just take it easy. And that really helps us not to have burnout days. And one other thing that I find is helpful with this schedule, and this goes along with having, instead of having all of our schoolwork in 36 weeks and spreading it out to 52, is it makes me more available for the one-on-one lessons that are necessary. I have more available time. Again, my kids only do 3 to 4 different subjects per day. And so when one of them needs mom specifically to help with something, it's a lot more easier to balance out the time that they need from me. Now, as they get older, a lot more of their studies become more independent, and they both have a lot of subjects they can do independently. And so it's nice to time those out so that I am only needed by one child at a time. But again, along with having less of a schedule every day, that is easier to do. Now, I only have 2 kids, but if I had many more, I think that would be very, very beneficial. And so how we do our year-round homeschool is we start in July and we go all the way to June. And the very last week of June, for that 1 week, I make sure that all of our studies are done on the 3rd week of June, and then the last week of June is when we take our state test, which is a requirement for us in the state of Washington once my child was 8 years old. So we take that week to do our state test. Typically, it only takes 2, maybe 3 days, and then we'll kind of have a hooray, you're done celebration, dinner, dessert possibly, and then we have that 1 weekend, and then that next Monday we start up our next school year. So this is just a little bit of the benefits that we have because we do this year-round homeschooling. And again, I know that this does not work for all families, but the beauty of homeschool is you make it work best for your family. And every year, I'm kind of reevaluating, and I am always open to being flexible and changing things when needed. However, I don't see this as being something that's ever going to need to change. I'm always open to it, but I could see us continuing year-round homeschool until my boys graduate high school. Anyways, I hope that this conversation was helpful to you. If you have any questions, let me know, and I hope that you have a good day, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, bye!